Alright, what's up guys? Yogizilla here. This is episode 132 of HorsePLAY Live Uncut. This is part 2 of our E3 special, the best and worst of the show, and other synonymous titles. We'll talk about the good, the bad, the fugly of E3. Try to focus more on the games, and I think this year was good for at least focusing on the games, though in a way too it was a bit of a hardware war kind of thing, which I'm surprised Sony didn't jump in on. Then again, I kind of had a feeling they wouldn't, because they're kind of riding out the whole VR wave until that loses steam again. We'll see. They'll probably stick this time around, but I think we're still years away before 4K and VR really significant. But don't get me started on that tangent. We got a Fatal here tonight. Obi will be back shortly, and then we'll get officially started. Have a little.
I'm ready.
Little pre-show here. You guys ready to talk more E3?
Sure.
Beat the dead horse even deader.
Just so I know, what's already been covered on E3?
We didn't really go too deep on it, surprisingly, because it actually was a lot to cover. We just kind of did an overview of like the tone of each of the pressers. So we talked about Ubisoft, or Ubisoft if you prefer, Sony, Microsoft, Bethesda, who else?
Yay.
You know, all the big ones. Oh, I guess Nintendo was kind of there, kind of.
Don't say that. Don't say that word on here, man. I don't want to get fucking sued.
I know, right?
Which is weird. They don't want you admitting they make video games. What are you thinking?
Dude, that's why I didn't put any, like last week when we were doing the show and I was putting stuff into the, because our chat doesn't work for some unfreaking reason. I was putting stuff like pictures and stuff from E3, the games they were talking about, stuff like that, and I was so reluctant to put anything Nintendo, oops, I said it again, in their picture-wise because I didn't want Geeky Antics to get freaking striked.
Yeah, they're getting a little better about it, because I know there's a bunch of shows. There's a show called If We Ran Nintendo that's really good. It's still going. Nintendo Dads. And they actually get support from Nintendo. I think they're finally coming around, but they're still really stubborn. And it's weird, too, because Nintendo has probably the best ambassador program out there. Though Xbox One preview is pretty dope, too. I don't know. I'm biased. I'll probably say it's better, but I mean, Nintendo used to be very big on the community. Like, Nintendo Power Magazine used to focus community tips and art and fan art. And I figured they would be ahead of the curve with the social media stuff and the online stuff, but they're still kind of playing catch-up. It's really strange. They're very conservative, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. But yeah, folks that are in my channel, Yogizilla on Twitch, come over to the main channel, Geeky Antics, or twitch.tv/Geeky Antics if you're kind of new to Twitch or whatever. I don't know. Some people need specifics. And I guess we get started, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Obi, I'll wait for your count, and then there'll be an awkward two or 3 second pause, because it takes a little time before Twitch catches up.
Somebody tried to hack my Facebook from Indonesia. That's funny.
Oh, boy.
All right. All
Good times.
Starting now.
Here we go.
You are listening to an All Games Radio Network broadcast of allgames.com.
Hi, this is Normie from Knuckleballer Radio and Zombie Cast, and you're listening to one of my favorite shows on the Geeky Antics Network. Don't forget to check out the rest of the gang over at geekyantics.net. Warning, there might be rants and food ahead and possibly inappropriate behavior. Don't tell anybody though.
Welcome back, guys. It's episode 132. Actually, I'm not even going to start that way. We do it this way. I've already started fucked up anyway. Welcome, geeks, gamers, ninjas, robots, whoever else listens to this damn show. It's HorsePLAY Live. Today is Thursday, June 23rd, 2016, and this is episode 132, E3 2016 special, Best Worst of the Show, Part 2. Yes, we're beating the shit out of this dead horse, but it's okay. We're all here with you. Before we get into all this antics and, some real-life news that I went through here a couple days ago, you all know him. Everybody's favorite filthy hardcore casual that rarely plays games anymore, Yogizilla. What's up, dude?
What's up? How's everybody doing?
And with us tonight, too, the one, the only, Blades.
I like turtles.
Bringing back a classic.
Turtles.
Doubt.
Like before the show started, I was talking to you guys. We got my Facebook got attempted hacked from Indonesia. So like I have the security system where it locks my account, and then it sends me an email. And if I didn't do it, they take steps and then to change the password and all that other shit. So it's really cool. Thank you, Facebook, for coming up with the security.
That happens a lot too, because I get in the past 6 months, I probably had like 3 notifications that there was attempted unauthorized access. So,
which some of these things, like I'm coming up with freaking passwords that are off the top of my head. I have to write them down to even begin to remember them, and then somebody else is coming up with them off the top of their head. Come on, man.
Brute force tactics, man, still works. But yeah, I wanted to say this for a couple of shows. If you guys listen to one of the other great shows on our network here on Geeky Antics, it's not on allgames.com, sadly. I try to get them on there, but they're not one network show, and we're happy that they chose us. Chris Gannon, the ringleader over there, he's been going through some stuff. I don't want to put out too much of his personal info, but I think he's been putting it on his Facebook time, so I guess it's pretty public. I mean, how private is Facebook, right? But he's been going through some stuff. His dad has been in the hospital. It's been a little touch and go, but I heard today that his father's doing much better. He's looking good, so keep him in your thoughts and prayers. And just want to put that out there. Definitely check out that show. They actually had a show this weekend. Did they have a show last week? No, I think they skipped last week. No, they skipped last week, but they had a show that week before. I forget. They've been skipping his shows here and there. It's been really tough for him lately. He's in the middle of a career change and lots of stuff going on. We all know how that is. But yeah, and Obi,
man, brother.
on a lighter note, your birthday just passed a couple days ago, right?
Yes, 21st of June.
A lot of June babies.
And then Cam's, is tomorrow, the 24th.
Oh yeah.
So I get to go to Chuck E. Cheese on Saturday. Yay!
It's funny. I like people say arcades are dead in the States, but you got like the big retro scene. You got these barcades. Obviously Dave & Buster's is still doing well because they're still opening up new locations. In Times Square, when I still lived in New York City, they had Broadway Arcade, and that was doing really well. It was like 5 floors of bars and video games. Amazing. But they shut it down. They even had laser tag, but they shut that down because people started getting ghetto, of course, and bringing weapons in there. Stupid hood rats. Stay in your borough. Don't come to Manhattan and bring your ghetto over there. But I think arcades survive. I was thinking today, like, it'd be cool. Like, I think the reason, obviously because arcades don't really work that well anymore because people could just play online, right? And buy a console and to get the arcade experience at home. There's something to be said about, like, having people crowd around a machine and watching you, or taking turns. I got next, So I was just thinking, like, with all this cross-platform play, if they started taking some games that lend themselves well to the arcade experience and making them cross-play between consoles, can you imagine how sick that would be? Like, maybe you just want a little change of scenery, right? You could play at home, but maybe you want to try to be social for once. So this might be something that it'll work for me. I'm kind of antisocial these days. Have an arcade with a cool environment, some cheap drinks, some cheap eats, maybe some cool people to hang out with, and then you can play online from an arcade machine. That's pretty kind of dope. Surprised that it seemed like a missed opportunity. I don't know. Just spitballing here.
Definitely.
Like, I don't know, because arcades have a different vibe to them. You know what I mean? There's something magical about them still.
We were literally talking about that the other day, actually.
Yeah.
We were talking about because Blade's getting ready to make the move up to Michigan to get this company going and really launch it, right? Well, first question he asks is, how cold does it get? I was like, it depends. Sometimes to 0, blah blah blah. But then I rebutted back and said, hey dude, but you're a big guy. You're not gonna be bothered by it. Don't worry about that. Now, and then the second question he goes, do they have any arcades around?
The very next question.
And I was like, there's a few. There's some, we got some, bunch of Craig's Cruisers around here, Dave and Buster's around here, and then there's one coming back. They're rebuilding up the mall here in Holland, and it's something to where it's there's going to be a huge end cap of one of the mall wings that's going to be nothing but arcade. So
see, that's a smart idea
I can
because
promise you that there will be videos made of us being stupid in an arcade.
Nice.
We might have to get the footage from the arcade cams because I don't want to incriminate my own self. But
See, in an arcade, that's why arcades still have a place, because especially in like a shopping mall or shopping strip. Mm-hmm. Let's say your better half, your significant other.
If it's the only arcade in town.
But I mean, even if you have a lot of arcades, right? The thing is, someone wants to go shopping, they want to go try on different things. Sometimes you don't want to be a part of that because what are you gonna do? Oh yeah, it looks good, and you men out there know how it is. No matter what you say, they're gonna be like, I don't like it. So why do you ask me?
Your choice is to hold the purse or play Time Crisis.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure I'm on my way to go play some Time Crisis.
And that game is still fun, no matter how many times you run through it. It's great.
And there's always times where I cannot get through it. Like I've beat it before, solo, but it's something where there's still places in there where I think I might have gotten lucky the first time when I beat it. So it was kind of like I've never been. There's a part on one of the ending episodes where I just can't get past it. I don't know what it is.
Well, you know what it is? A lot of the notorious arcade owners, they flip the switches, the dip switches or whatever they have in there to keep the difficulty on the hardest settings. It's like the quarters out. Yeah.
Oh no, that's just good business though, dude. Like really, honestly, if you're looking at if you're an arcade owner, all right, because the first thing that you're gonna look at before you even put the arcade in there is a demographic. If your demographic is sitting there and it's going to be a lot of young kids that they're still going to be coming to the, not young kids, you know what I mean, like old enough to be on their own, I guess, in a mall, it's something to where you're looking at what? I don't know, 10 at the minimum to age 18 if they're with their brothers and sisters or whatever. But you don't want to make it too hard because then they won't play the game. But yeah, it's just good business, dude. I would do the same damn thing. Oh, it's too easy for you? Here, now I'm going to take all your fucking money.
My counter argument is if you make it too hard, then you have an empty arcade.
That's what I just said. If you make it too hard for the little kids, I mean, you got to have everything.
Just for anyone. But just for anyone, like, you want to have a head count. It's a very organic thing, You see like people there. You don't want the machines being hogged up. So, maybe you just switch it up. Like, if you see there's a lot of foot traffic, then, you switch it up, make them harder. But if it's just getting slow, you want to make it easier so people, hang around and other people see people in there and they come in,
Right. Well, this guy, he's going to be doing, from what I understand, I haven't had a conversation with the guy or anything, but, like, from what I understand, he's going to have, like, there's going to be all ticket stuff, too. So there's going to be skee ball there. There's going to be basketball hoops there. There's going to be so it's not just going to be video games, which is a good thing which is a good part on him. just because it's gonna drive more traffic in there. I know 50-year-olds that love to play skee-ball, dude.
Yeah, or
I mean, like
pinball machines. Yeah. Pinball machines, I think, are always a hit.
I think the skee-ball. He's gonna have a couple of the air hockey tables, one at each end, kind of thing, and then because air hockey is one, like my son, you know him. He's 4 years old. Well, he'll be 5 tomorrow, and no matter if he can barely see. Hey, Dad, I want to play. Like he's already into it.
Yeah, air hockey's awesome. The only problem with air hockey is that the realty it takes up, it's like pool tables. Fantastic, but you know, you always if you have regulars, they tend to hog it up, and you know, sometimes democracy prevails, other times douchebaggery prevails. So that's the trouble, and then you know, they're taking up more space. I mean, you can fit in 3 or 4 machines where you put an air hockey table or a billiards table, like a full size, obviously. And you don't want to play mini anyway, because like mini air hockey or mini pool table is.
It's his money that he's spending, dude. That's it's kind of like what if we own Nintendo.
Oh yeah, no, air hockey's great. I'm not shitting at air hockey at all.
He's gonna have two tables, supposedly, one at each end. So it's not gonna be like it's gonna be. I mean, you got to think about how many more people are, because there's gonna be so much more stuff in there. It's not just one of these little, I got a cube in a mall and I'm trying to have a bunch of video games in here. No, this guy has probably almost a whole wing, the side of a wing by himself, from the entrance from the street all the way to the middle of the mall.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it.
That's a huge arcade. So like there's you got the double like Jurassic Park type where you sit in the seat and you shoot and everything, to the game that Fatal said, can't off the top of my head, to like a bunch of anime Street Fighter games and stuff like that.
You always want to see like coin pushers and claw machines too. Those are classic staples.
Oh yeah, those are
going to be there regardless.
Coin pushers are definitely like a huge draw, and they don't take up that much space. Like, because you can have like, what is it like? The average will have like what 6 pods in it, so most people can play on it, and they don't take up that much space, and people just keep throwing money in there because you see the money on the edge. You're like, oh, it's gonna come down, down.
No, they've even evolved. There's like the SpongeBob coin pushers and the Wizard of Oz, where you get cards that you can collect for tickets and getting full sets. Like, there's people who sell full sets of these SpongeBob coin pusher cards for like $50 online.
Yeah.
Like, just to get the Gary card mainly, because it's a rare card, and so it draws people, and they want to play, and, oh, there's a Gary in the machine, and they'll spend ridiculous amounts just to get that one card,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's also reminding me of the multi-cabs, the little mini cabs you get on the bar counters, where they have the find the difference games, or the, gosh, what's the other one that's popular? Is Find the Difference a big one? Shit, I can't think of the other one that people play.
Tons of card games. I mean, you'll see them playing solitary and euchre, spades.
There you go. I mean, they got other like more obscure stuff. Oh, they might have the bubble type, bust a move type of game.
Yeah,
that's pretty big. Oh, the strip poker if it's a more adult audience.
Texas Hold'em.
Texas Hold'em, yeah. Some of the really fancy ones let you play with other people in the bar. Those are cool. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think there's still a market there. The thing is like Obi was saying, is like knowing your audience and controlling the experience. Because once you attract the wrong kind of people, it can fuck it up for everybody else.
Right. Well, exactly. Because then you have to go off and say, okay, now I got to go hire security. Now I got to go do this. Now I got to go do this, paying more money in than no matter how many good ideas you have for the arcade, you're always going to be looming. So then people aren't going to want to come to that, because now you have hired security on premises, and they're like, if they got to hire security, why do I want to be there?
Yeah.
No, yeah. Though I do like what Dave & Buster's does after, what is it, 8 or 9 in most places. It's the arcade floor is closed off to kids. Even if they have a guardian, like I think it's like at 5 you have to have a guardian, you have to be accompanied, and then like at 8 or 9, no, doesn't matter if you have an adult with you, no. And I like that because You know, for a lot of people, that's the spot you go, and you know, you drink, nurse a few drinks, and play games, and it's chill.
You cut loose. So if there's a bunch of kids
After
in the
work,
way,
especially.
yeah. Well, you think about it. There's a bunch of kids in the way. People don't want to go there. No offense, and I love kids to a point, but all right, let me backtrack.
No, I mean,
What happened?
My wife is traveling back from Detroit right now, so I don't have to worry about her watching.
that was my next point, is that it's a good place. Like, you know, no matter how much you love your kids, everybody needs a break from them sometimes, and you don't want to deal with someone else's kid. No one wants to deal with someone else's kids, especially if you have your own, because then it's like, oh, I came here for the escape, you know.
Right.
But then you know, our own kids won't listen to us. Imagine someone else's kid is even worse. So it's like, yeah. And Tim Curtis already, he's like, where is the video? Last week you should have been here. When we tried the video, things broke.
Oh yeah. Things happened. Yogi's internet was saying Q, and then it was causing him to lag, and then me to lag, and then it was just no.
Well, I don't think we officially determined if it was on my side or your side, but
I think it was I think it was both of us actually, because I just found out that the everything's been running a little bit slow. Like I was on WoW, I was raiding on WoW the other day, and Fifi was sitting over on the other side just on her iPad. And literally, she was only watching Netflix. Yes, some people, oh my god, Netflix eats up everything. Not really.
it can.
It can, but I don't worry about overages, so I don't have those. But it's something like she's just doing there, and I could not play. Like I was what is it called? I was jumping from place to place in the raid, and I was like, I'm trying to tank, and I can't. And then come to find out that it was, I think partly it was my router, and then partly my internet, because I was only getting 50.
Yeah, I think the problem with, and I see a lot of people run into this, a lot of the software, the drivers for webcams is really shitty. So after a while, like, it gets corrupt, or it's this incompatibility issues. Like, I have a fresh install, and my camera works fine when I'm streaming, but like, we try to do fancy shit like do Skype and TeamSpeak. I don't know. I haven't done it enough to really test, but you know, it's like one of the things I don't care enough about to bother with it. But I guess we'll do some tests when we're not officially doing the show.
Well, we'll figure it out eventually on what stuff to use. And if I can talk Fatal Blades into it, when he gets here, we're going to have cams, you know, doing maybe the NSFW every now and then for a live show. But, you know, it's cameras to me are only when you're streaming, just because there's no other sense in it. Because there's so much issues that can happen, so many issues that can happen. Like, just one of the person's cameras has a software issue. That shit fucking multiplies. It spreads that infection over every other camera that's on there, and it really sucks, especially on Skype.
Yeah.
So it's just something that, you know, you gotta be. It's to the point where it's gonna be like a network LAN setup to where I can put multiple cameras on it. And that's
Normie over at ZombieCast and Knuckleballer Radio on allgames.com. What's up? Little extra plug there. But she's had notorious issues with malware before, and when she cleans up her computer, it works fine. But like, the thing that tends to trigger it is when she puts the webcam on. And of course, the common denominator is also Skype. Skype already has issues with resource management.
Yeah.
So like, it tries to overcompensate. So it's just not a good combination. And it's a shame, because Skype does have really good audio quality, but it's such a resource hog. And you have one person lagging Skype, and then it just causes a chain reaction. Like,
and
it's
it doesn't
really
even
weird.
have to be the host.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're the host. It could be someone calling in and random shit, and they could bring it down for everybody else. So,
yep.
I mean, people don't realize, like, bottlenecking is a huge thing with technology. Period. You know, when you're talking about any kind of performance, you know, your downloads, and
if you're trying to push 4K through a bottleneck, what's going to happen? It's not going to work.
And this is why I keep saying we're not ready for fully digital distribution, 4K content, you know, 4K streaming. Get the fuck out of here. We're still so far away from that.
Right.
It's a pipe
Well,
dream.
before we get into too many more rants, guys, we're gonna get this show started tonight on the show.
Oh wait! I do have something else before I forget.
We're 20 minutes in, homeboy.
I know. I'm
We're
keeping
gonna
track.
run out of time at the end.
I'm keeping track.
Okay.
But I wanted to thank everybody for all the latest mailing list subscriptions. We don't shout out enough people on that. Won't mention all the people, but there's been a ton of subscriptions. If you're not part of the list yet, make sure you head over to bit.ly/gangmail. And gang is GANG, all caps. And I know I haven't been keeping up with the weekly or even monthly newsletters, but hopefully I get back on schedule with that and get a huge monthly email blast out before the end of the month, end of June for frame of reference. And the Steam Picnic sale is out. It's the new Steam Summer Sale. And that's going through July 4th, so I want to make sure we cover that in the top of the show. Mighty Number 9 finally released, so that's a big deal. It's Inafune's answer to the Capcom crap and keeping Mega Man alive. And also Dead by Daylight, a game that we really haven't had a chance to talk about. It's Evolve, but done right. It's priced out $20, but right now it's on sale. I think $15. We get to play, survivors versus the Crazed Maniac, and they have different formats. They have 2v5, 2v6, 1v4. I forget the different exact numbers, but they got a lot of content, like a lot of different maps, a lot of different characters with different abilities, perks, unlockables. Good potential there. But anyway, that's all I want to say. So what do we got? What do we have tonight on the show?
Before I was rudely interrupted, tonight on the show, guys, we're gonna talk some more E3. I skipped that. I'll talk about it later. E3 2016, stuff that we loved, we liked, stuff that we even didn't like. Maybe we're going to even talk about a little TV. Maybe. Before we jump into the E3 stuff, but who won the show? What the hell is this?
What?
I've never... who won?
Oh, yeah. Who people that's the talk. Everybody's still talking about who won E3. And I put one in parentheses, in quotes, who won the show, because, it's kind of a very subjective thing. But who was the best of the show? Who was the worst? We'll share our thoughts.
Call in if you guys want to send us. You guys can send us a text or a voicemail, 646-801-2149. Are you guys going to join us live here and tell us right now? By the way, if you guys are new to the show, welcome to the gang.
Oh!
Wow. The gang is what we effectively call our community at Geeky Antics. Hashtag Geeks Unite. Horseplay Live is where... Jesus Christ, I'm all fucked up, man.
Damn, my Weibo was too much for you?
It wasn't really even a Weibo, but Horseplay Live is where geeks come to play and Yogi acts dumb as shit. He can do it, with his fan. Never mind. We are the flagship talk radio show for Geeky Antics Network in collaboration with AllGames.com, Tangent Bound Network, Stitcher, and more. Our show covers all the aspects of geek culture with a special focus on indie and strategy games, technologies, rants, issues that geeks face, and community events that we try to put on or even just be a part of. Did I mention we rant a lot? Yeah.
You may
Don't
have.
forget you guys can check us out on TuneIn Radio, too. I've forgotten. He didn't put it down. And of course, Stitcher.
Yeah, we got to mention. I figure we should mention it more.
We got a whole fuck ton, okay? So just go look it up. If you get it onto an audio podcast feed of some sort, or an app or whatever, just look up Geeky Antics. See if we're there, because we probably are.
And the next thing about TuneIn is that they have the app on all mobile platforms, and they got it on Xbox. So super dope. No reason not to listen to us.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes we even talk about tabletop and retro gaming, and we haven't talked about this in a couple weeks, which is really interesting. We talk about food. Yeah. We haven't said nothing about food in the last 2 weeks almost. Just because Yogi likes talking about food sometimes. Unless it was the last 2 weeks for now. But
Well,
Yogi's gonna tell you a little bit.
I'll be completely candid, and a big reason for that is because we've been tightening up our belts, literally, and having a lot more simple dinners. Like we've had a lot of sandwich nights and mac and cheese nights. We're trying to stick to a budget because we kind of have to. So, little behind the scenes there. Obi's like,
Alright.
man, wait to bring down the mood.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Why don't you just keep bringing the mood down and tell us a little bit more about the show?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Obi. We are a live and uncut show. We sometimes we appear on allgames.com. We're also on geekyantics.net. But I think the key thing to keep in mind is that we are a late night show. And usually around this time, a lot of us are checking out mentally. I mean, we're kind of retarded to begin with, but at this hour, we're definitely struggling with issues. Surprisingly, tonight I'm not drinking. I am drinking. It's an alcoholic.
I am.
Yeah, some coffee.
And Fatal is. That's all he's got in his house is alcohol.
You can't prove that.
Or that.
Fatal's like, just keep talking, I'll keep drinking. Keep it going, guys. Tell me more.
No, it'd have been better if you would have come across like, well, this is HorsePLAY Live is live and uncut. Crazy things may happen, but I just want to let you know it's okay.
What are we, the Visine guy?
You're supposed to bring down the
Hey,
motherboard.
Ben Stiller is amazing.
I didn't say Ben Stiller
Stein.
wasn't
Ben
amazing.
Stein.
Ben Stiller, really?
Yeah.
I mean, he did good shit too, but Ben Stein, Euler.
Yeah. Obi's like, don't get into the tangent. Go. I just gotta say though, I feel like Ben Stiller and Adam Sandler, they've lost their mojo. Just gonna throw that out there.
Oh, what?
I don't know, man.
No. Did
Somebody
you
in
watch
Georgia,
the
go
Do-Over?
slap the shit out of Yogi.
You watch the Do-Over, Ridiculous Six, The Cobbler.
Cobbler I still have to see, and I know you've said a lot of good things about that.
That's
so
an amazing movie. The Do-Over you need to see. That's a phenomenal movie.
Ridiculous Six is funny
The
as shit.
Ridiculous Six had me laughing nonstop.
I'm gonna write these down.
Ridiculous Six is
They're
a
all
special on
Netflix.
Netflix,
Go to
bro.
Netflix, look up Adam Sandler, you'll find it. Amazing stuff. Like all three of those were just so well done.
I can't
mean-
say they were like things for like Richie Rich or whatever that fucking Mr. Deeds movie he did. I mean, because that was stupid. But there's a couple movies that Adam Sandler's done that is bad, but these are not by far because they're just so funny. They're him.
Well, the thing with Adam Sandler is that, even when it's bad, it's still enjoyable, but you're not going to write home about it. I think that, I think our show's a lot like that. A lot of episodes we do are probably forgettable, but while you're listening to it, you're probably enjoying it. But afterwards, you're not going to, leave a comment or tell your friends about it. And maybe that's why people don't do it. Why don't you?
Okay, can you be quiet now? Because you're starting to rant.
I am. But,
Don't forget, geeks.
Okay.
All of you motherfuckers.
Oh, but that's it. You know this
HorsePLAY
deal.
Live is every Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Pacific, 4 a.m. GMT on Twitch channels Geeky Antics and YogiZilla. HorsePLAY Live replay is also available at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time on allgames.com. Guys, seriously, I know it sounds weird, but this is what I need everybody to do. From anybody that hears this podcast, if you guys just go, each of you, I don't care who it is. Don't care how many it is. Just go to allgames.com. Just type it in Google, allgames.com. That's what you type in the Google search. You'll come up with All Games at 5 p.m. next Thursday. Go there. Give us about 10 minutes of your time. Seriously. Let it play in the background. Go watch your esport. Go play your video. You can do whatever you want. It's not going to take hardly any resources from you. Put it in the background. Let it play for 10, 15 minutes, and then you can shut it off. I know it's kind of like, why would you shut it off 15 minutes in the show? Because then we get count for it, and we want more counts. Just saying. Trying to be honest with you guys. And anyway, guys, go watch it, All Games. If I'm there, I'll say hi. If I'm not, say hi anyway.
Word. That's a very good call to action, and I'm usually idling on the IRC, so if you type my name, it'll ping me, and I usually will jump on.
And I've got a new app on my M9 here that will let me idle on IRC. so I should be there. I'm doing a lot of things to my phone.
Yeah.
What's next, Yogi?
Well,
We're not starting another rant. What's next on the show list?
again, Geeks Engage, you know, if you want to be part of the show, join us right now on TeamSpeak. You know, leave us a voicemail or text message, 646-801-2149, or email us, mail@geekyantics.net. But I think we could do one or two things. We could do our, you know, what we've been playing, what we've been watching, and then go into E3, or we could just jump straight into E3. Depending how much, we do have a lot of stuff to talk about at E3, so depend, you know, how you want to do
How about
it.
this? How about this? We don't like try to waste time, but we talk about E3 because I want to get this done. No offense. And then at the last 10, 15 minutes of the show, then we'll talk about what we've been playing, maybe what we've been watching. Just kind of, I mean, if you want to talk about what we've been watching first, because that's what you've been doing more of, that's fine.
Okay.
I'll tell you right now what I've been playing: Hearthstone and fucking Overwatch. I'd say
Fucking Overwatch. Oh, is that the new mod?
Hearthstone and Overwatch, you fucktard.
For those, you
On
said
the bright side, in that mod, they will have fixed Tracer's booty.
yes, and that, you know what? I'm all for that. If people could get that to work, you know, and give like Tracer a bubble butt and bring back the original victory pose. Hell yeah, I'm all
Bring
for
back
it.
the booty mod.
You should do it. All right, so before we talk about E3, then let's do our 2X. We haven't done this in a little bit. So this is just two quick questions to get your thought juices flowing. This kind of sets the stage for E3, the more E3 discussion. So here we go. What makes a game complete? And what makes a game good? I'm just curious to see what everybody thinks on that. Because apparently my tastes for video games are very different from most people, especially in the podcasting community. I see people talking about Firewatch and Life is Strange, stuff like that, and it's like, those are not games that appeal to me. Or Last of Us, the big one. Oh. You know, but apparently people love that shit. So, I'm not saying that's shit games, but not really what I look for in an experience. So, anyway, I'd like to think what you I'd like to hear what everybody else thinks. And of course, you can leave us a voicemail or text us 646-801-2149. So, without further delay, let's get into our feature discussion. Obi,
Mm-hmm.
are you gonna do your little theatrical opening?
I'm waiting for you to shut up.
Okay.
Thanks. And now, really? And now it's time for our feature presentation. Dun, 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 dum, 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 dum. Been better if you guys would have got in with me. But that's all.
Oh yeah.
E3 2016, the good, the bad, the fugly, part 2. In case you missed part 1, fuck you. Just kidding. Yeah. In case you missed it, guys, we spent several hours covering day 0 through day 3. I was on one of those because every time I got back on Skype, nobody called me, so whatever. And we're over at allgames.com, so if you guys want to go see any part of E3, the coverage the day of, go over to allgames.com, and I think it's on their YouTube page, right?
I'm not sure if it's on YouTube, but I know it's on the Gaming History 101 feed, and it might be on the B Team feed, and of course the allgames.com feed as well.
So basically, guys, go over to allgames.com and just type in E3 2016, and they got all the shows that they covered. I mean, they literally done, I think SG did he streamed every part of it, and then they were doing the shows. It was really cool, really classy. So, guys, go check them all out. Presser highlights. Yogi, you want to go through these?
I think we covered them pretty well.
Well, we got to get Fatal covered up.
All right, so just a general tone. With EA, of course, they went through the usual offenders, the Battlefield, the Forza, all the sports games. And I think they focus way too much on football.
Right, FIFA. Oh my God, the FIFA presentation.
Yeah, and the thing is, know your audience. I'm guessing most people at E3 are American, and you heard crickets in the audience. Like,
You should have been. I watched it when the FIFA came out, and like Castro, 2000 and what is it, 2023 or whatever his name is on. He's a FIFA fanatic for PlayStation.
Oh yeah.
And
I followed him. I followed him because you follow him, and I was like, oh my god, this guy loves FIFA way too much.
Well, he got invited to that because of it. Like he's doing good for himself. Big shout outs to Castro too. Guys, go check him out. PS4 FIFA man. So, but when he came out, like everything was just like it was like Castro blah blah. I forget the numbers. Sorry. But he came out and like not like everybody's like, well, who's this? Oh yeah, yay, and then it was just like a dead house. Like every time they brought something out, it was like they only were cheering because the sign up top of the frickin' jumbo screen was saying cheer.
Dude, the biggest thing, they screwed up the opening when they cut to the guy who was supposed to be the pop, like the whole you don't know me but you will. They had him muted until he said, but you will. So it looked like a poorly dubbed kung fu flick.
Yeah, oh, God.
What?
So awkward. And the thing is about soccer, like I like soccer, and the thing is, I can appreciate why people love it. Like it's big in all the world except in the States, and I think the only people in the States that really care about it are hipsters that are trying to seem like they're really cultured, or Latinos that happen to have their country represented, which means everybody except Puerto Ricans, because we don't have a soccer team. Like we have a baseball team, we have a basketball team that are pretty strong, but soccer we're like meh. So I can't connect with it unless I'm like around someone that's like from Nicaragua or Venezuela or Mexico, and they're huge in it, obviously. Like they get hardcore into it, and it's like it is viral. Like when you're around someone that's really into soccer, and they're like, "Oh, let's put the game on," and they get into it. It's like, wow. Like okay, unlike golf, where it's like, yeah, this is a good thing to go to sleep with.
Yeah, it depends. It depends.
I've always thought of soccer like basketball. Like I like street games better than I like the actual sport because they do, fancier, more wowing things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, it's impossible unless you go on YouTube to really find like street soccer games, but it's way more fun because they'll do stuff like triple loop their foot around, lift the ball, kick it over, balance it behind their neck, kick it off behind the guy and then run around him. Or you can watch a guy go down a super long soccer field kind of casually, just dribbling the ball until, someone tackled him. But they got it back. And he kicked it a third of the way back from what the guy ran it. Okay, let's see how this plays out.
Right. Well, Tiger Claw said in chat, too, keep in mind they were showing the new FIFA when they were broadcasting the England segment of the press conference. So, and you guys
That's
know,
true.
In Europe, England, I mean, just Europe, Eastern Europe, or Western Europe is just huge. Not Eastern Europe. Western Europe is just huge, that whole area. I mean, that's like you put you make a soccer ball half the size of the Earth and put it on Europe. That's them.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
And the thing is, they should have just stuck, like, cause they did cut back to the American audience in a few parts, if I recall, and that's when the crickets happened. But obviously, the hype levels when they were doing
sleeping.
the UK port. I mean, people were really like, wow, like they were really into it. Like it was like the second coming of Christ or something. I don't know. It was nuts.
Right. Well, they were actually sleeping. There was a guy not near the front. He was near the back, but the camera panned on him and then saw him and then went back to him. Homeboy was sleeping during this segment.
I mean, EA had the most obvious kind of America statement versus the world statement, I guess. Because when you watch it, it's like, FIFA, we're for Europe. And then they got to Battlefield, and they're like, Battlefield 1. Here's Snoop Dogg playing with a blunt hanging out his mouth.
That actually was pretty interesting. Watching the celebrities play.
America all day.
That was pretty neat. And actually, Snoop Dogg actually has some skills. He actually is a true gamer. Like I know people know from his YouTube videos, like he gets into it. But like actually watching him play, you know, it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope.
I was watching some of his stuff that because like, you come across it, celebrities playing video games, and guess who's there? And he gets mad. Homeboy rages. Yeah. Man, fuck this shit. I ain't fucking no, hell no. Like, damn.
Oh yeah, he's more a Sony guy now, but he's giving Microsoft and Sony a piece of his mind. I mean, he doesn't pull any punches, so I respect him. I think he's one of the few authentic celebrities out there. So, but
there's quite a few that are though. You got those celebrity, and they're actually really good at games.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Lupe Fiasco. Just saying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, so next on the list was what, Bethesda?
Yeah, of course Bethesda. No surprise, it was very Elder Scrolls and Fallout heavy, but not as much. They did have some curveballs because it wasn't the Elder Scrolls announcement that people were waiting for, but people underestimate how big Elder Scrolls Online really is. It won MMO of the year last year. That's kind of a big deal.
Well,
and they had a huge announcement for that. And they have the Elder Scrolls card game. Card games are a big thing right now. They're up there with MOBAs. Elder Scrolls Legend. That's people getting the beta now. If you haven't gotten in there yet.
Fred's window's closed, right?
Oh.
I told him. I said he had to get it before my birthday.
Oh yeah. Well, I need that.
June 20, and I was just saying, just get it now. Get it with you.
I knew that was gonna happen.
It's coming close to. What do you mean?
Well, because Fred has a lot of commitments, and I love Fred to death, but he flakes out a lot.
I'm sorry to say this, and I love you, Fred. I know if you're listening somewhere, Tim Curtis, if he's here, he's listening, he'll tell him. But I was really hoping that he just wouldn't get it. So then, because I have lots of stuff coming up here in the summertime too. We got lots of tournaments coming up. We got BlizzCon coming up. We got stuff for. I have stuff for my WoW, where I'm going to be getting a PvP team together to ride it all the way to BlizzCon for next year. So I mean, we got a whole bunch of shit we're doing right now. So I really couldn't stop and play Elder Scrolls Online right now. So I'm glad he didn't do it.
Yeah, it's an undertaking.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you for flaking.
Though now with the changes, Elder Scrolls is a lot less intimidating. They got rid of a lot of the barriers, so you could jump into it and power level your way through and get into endgame content while still being able to have tons of replay value and challenge and still have a sense of progression. It's a really good balance.
You can do that in WoW now, so I mean, it's something.
WoW's still a lot more intimidating though, and
yeah,
this is for someone that's played it before.
When you can sit there with no leveling gear. I tested it. Sometimes I'll vanish for a couple weeks, but I'm doing things and I tested it to where I played with leveling gear and no leveling gear, and I timed it. The only reason I did faster with my leveling gear is because of the level. I got another 10 or 15% leveling experience. But from level 1 to 90 now, it's all like double XP the whole way through. So and especially if you're doing it with another person, then you get party XP, and then you get. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can get for it now to level really, really fast.
See, but the big thing
on who you want to be.
The big thing with Elder Scrolls though is that now they have one Tamriel, and you could play with friends in any alliance, and I think any platform now. I think it's all cross-platform. But the big thing is. All the challenges, all the raids and everything, all the group activities, scale it. So it doesn't matter no more of this. Oh, you're not a high enough level. Oh, you're not a high enough gear, score. You can play with us. You can play. Let's do it. Unless you run into real douchebags that are like, no, you don't have the DPS. Real they're gonna nitpick about it, but.
Right. Well, the only thing that I could say is if Elder Scrolls was around before WoW, I probably would have got into that.
Yeah, and I think that's ultimately what it comes down to MMOs. It's not which one's the best; it's just what you get into. Because I mean, there's still other ones.
Playing. I mean, I've played every single expansion.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I took a year off on one expansion, and I think Mist, but it was something that I played every. I don't want to quit now. Shit.
People really didn't like the pandas for some reason.
I hated that. I was done.
That was like the butt of all jokes. Like Kung Fu Panda, what the fuck?
Yeah, Kung Fu Panda expansion ruined it for a lot of people. It nerfed a lot of really popular classes. And
Well, they nerfed
said-
those classes so pandas would be relevant.
right, well, they nerfed them, and then they're like, plus we're adding a new super overpowered class that you can only be if you're a panda. Wink.
But
And
think
it's
about
like,
it.
Get out of here. That's so garbo.
Think about it though. Like, yeah, there were a lot of issues with that, but that's kind of like the life cycle of MMOs, like huge nerfs, and then the needle's always shifting. But I think the most important thing with Mist is
Now
the
pandas
fact that
suck dick. So
well,
Whatever.
yeah, that's what happens. But the thing is,
saying.
thematically, it was the most. It could be argued to be the most original content because it was the first time we saw pandas in a Warcraft universe. Before that, there wasn't.
That is
pandas.
not true.
yeah, that's not true, dude.
What about the Pandarian Brewmaster?
Oh, that's right. He was in Warcraft 3.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So
That's true, but they didn't play a huge part in the Warcraft universe until WoW.
well, that's because they've been eternally neutral.
They've been eternally
That's
neutral
true.
And hey, remember, they've been hidden too.
Like pandas just eat eucalyptus and stay stoned, and they're just kind of chill. They don't give a damn.
The Pandarian Brewmaster was so good in Dota All Stars. He was the one that split into 3 different little like Earth, Wind, and Fire, or whatever it was. That shit was great. Micromanaging each of those guys.
And as long as one of them survived, you reincarnated.
Yep. Oh my god, it's like it reminds me of in Heroes of the Storm, the freaking the dwarven dudes, the Vikings, Lost Vikings.
Yeah.
They're fun. Anyway, moving on. We gotta get to the games and the other stuff. But all right, so I'm just gonna blaze through this. So Bethesda, I think, had one of the most well-rounded pressers. The biggest surprise, I think, was probably the Quake Champions, which looks like it might be a MOBA style shooter, maybe like an Overwatch, because it looks like it's gonna be all the things we love about Quake, but class-based, and you have abilities. So that could be interesting if they do it right and still keep that flavor of Quake style, arena combat. Microsoft, I think it's between Bethesda and Microsoft. It's really hard to say which one was the better one in terms of the variety, but I think it was really, really strong. Probably my favorite. And the Risk Son of a fanboy, I really enjoyed it a lot. This had a really good balance of hardware and software announcements. A lot of good surprises there. Ubisoft, they try to be the bad boys of E3. The French are kind of scary, man. I don't know. They had dancing giraffes and weird tutu hippos, and I don't know what they were doing. Like it was a little unsettling to say the least. But they did announce one of the biggest things they announced was that every month they're gonna be for the next 7 months, I think they're gonna be to celebrate the 30-year anniversary of Ubisoft. Free game they're gonna give out monthly at Club Ubisoft, and the first one is Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. So make sure you get that. Oh, which reminds me, I need to download it before it's too late. Then they had the PC gaming show, which I really enjoyed because they didn't focus a lot on the hardware. It didn't come off as elitist. It was just really accessible. I'm talking more about how welcoming and liberating PC gaming can be for developers and consumers alike. And Day 9 is always, I think, a solid presenter and a good interview too. Sony was Sony. They play sad music and try to, give you the feels. But I gotta give them props. They had actual gameplay footage. They probably had the most actual gameplay. So I do give them credit there. And then Nintendo had the Treehouse, 24/7 Zelda sprinkled in with Pokemon Sun Moon and some English and some cute girls in there. So I guess it's that. Overall, those are the presses overall. So we're about to get into the games, but just want to highlight again that we saw a lot of things missing in this E3. Augmented reality. We saw a big focus on HoloLens last year, and this year it was MIA. I know why, but I know a lot of people were disappointed by that. Crackdown 3, kind of a big game for Microsoft. They didn't really talk about that. I think they showed it in a montage video, but that's it. No Man's Sky, I know it's coming out already in a couple of months, but it seemed like a missed opportunity to not keep the hype going on that. I know people waiting for Elder Scrolls 6, and I was like, don't hold your breath, but Yeah. Exclusives that weren't really exclusives, but again, I think we've been saying this that exclusives don't really matter anymore. They're not. Really,
You're saying who didn't have exclusives?
no one really had exclusives. All right, and I'll put in brackets that we actually care about, or at least I don't care about. I think we're past that point where exclusives matter anymore. I really do.
So you aren't big on the God of War or Gears of War?
I'm gonna get Gears of War, but it's not a game that I'm gonna be like, oh my god, if I didn't have an Xbox, I'd be missing out on it. You know what I mean? And with God of War, I felt the same way. Like, it's nice. I like the new direction they're taking it in, and we'll get to God of War. We're gonna try to go through it game by game, but it's nothing earth shattering for me. Like those games on their own are not gonna sell a system for me. And of course, Nintendo was kind of absent, but that's to be expected. I think they're trying to pull an Apple and control the message, you know?
Well, they always hold off because their show, like the Nintendo exclusive shows in like a month, right?
Yeah. But even then, like, I feel like they need to stop being so closed off, and they need to play nicer with others. That's been their underlying theme with Nintendo's missed opportunities, I feel.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a lot of games to talk about, guys. Or do you want to talk about the hardware announcements real quick first? And then we'll get into the games. Because there wasn't that much on the hardware side. What you guys want to do? Talk the hardware real quick, and then we'll go into the games?
You're running the show, man.
All right. Well, I want to see what you guys are excited about. All right, so we'll talk about the hardware real fast.
I'm just, like, ready to be done with E3 in general, bro.
Hey, stop it. Stop it. Don't be like that, Obi. We have a responsibility to our audience. And, you know, last year we kind of skipped E3 a bit. You know, we didn't go that deep on it. So we're giving you a proper... This is a pivotal year. I think this year is going to shape the future of the gaming industry as a whole. So whether you think it was phoned in or not, you know, I think this is telling of what's to come. I do want to say some quick observations, though. Did you guys notice how much they were playing up the whole Orlando tragedy? And I don't want to say that wasn't a tragic thing, but I felt like at some point, it became kind of inauthentic. You know, just pandering, and it kind of detracted from the message. You know what I mean? Okay, you're wearing the ribbons, and you know, obviously it's been addressed, but like, everybody was I felt like everybody was trying to cash in on the sympathy there, you know, and the LGBT votes, and I don't know. Or am I bugging out here? You guys are gonna leave me alone on that.
I think everybody was just kind of paying their respects to it as they were doing it. I mean, because that's just, you know, if you're the gaming company that doesn't say something about it, I mean, you're like, oh, he doesn't really care. That's what they come across. I don't really think they were all pushing it over. I think it was just something about, you know, hey, for those in the Orlando tragedy, our sympathies, blah blah blah. And that's just what they do. You know, another person might do almost the same exact thing, but I think it's just tribute.
But some of the times when they addressed it, it came off fake, like very forced. I don't know. Maybe I'm just at that point in my life where I'm just kind of jaded, I guess.
I think you've hit the old cynical point. Like,
yeah,
you are a half a step from being like, you darn kids, get off my lawn, you hippies.
Oh, that happens already. Like when there's kids on our property just like roaming about, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like,
yeah, but the screwed up part is it's not even going to be kids, it's going to be squirrels, and you're still going to be like, get off my lawn, hippies. Squirrel, calm down, man.
I don't lie about it at all, you know. I mean, you know, I think it's important, you know, and I agree. Like, if everybody else is doing it, you kind of have to follow the lead, you know. But at some point, it's like if you don't do it right, it just comes off really fake, and it's almost worse than not doing it at all. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on it.
Mm-hmm.
What you want, baby? Blue says hi. She hasn't said hi on the show for a while. She felt left out. All right, so I'm gonna go kind of in a weird order here. Let's start off with Nintendo hardware stuff. Because they didn't announce the NX, which we knew already. There's been price drops on their handheld system, like the 2DS is what, $79.99 now. That's an attractive price point, I gotta say.
It is.
Wait, the 2DS is what?
$80.
Especially since no one cared about the 3D aspect of the 3DS. Like, no one I know uses it.
Yeah, that kind of died off quick. But the sad part is the 2DS is inferior in performance to the new 3DS, which
Not
is
for a
weird.
5-year-old.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, for most people, you won't notice it, but there's like 2 or 3 games you can't play on the 2DS at all, or if you do, there'll be there's like one game you can't play at all, and there's like a few that if you play it, it'll be like it'll have performance issues. What do you want, Blue?
I mean, honestly, as long as you can play Smash on it and Pokemon, no one else is going to care about the rest.
Well, that's the game I was even thinking about getting for my son was like that Pokemon game, because he gets to he's been saving all year for it since his last birthday. He's been all his little change and everything, which he's got more than enough. But he gets to get a DS for his birthday, so he gets to get it tomorrow. But he's got to go take all that change, and God, that's gonna suck.
Yeah, clearly, Nintendo still dominates handheld gaming, mobile gaming, if you will. Obviously, smartphones are huge, if not a bigger part of that, and no one else wants to jump in on mobile outside of that stuff. But I don't know. I think they could have done more. Of course, they're still pushing amiibos, and that was a big thing. They they played Zelda and they showed off, Wolf Link, and look at the detail on it. And it's like, if you're not a Nintendo fan, I don't see you caring,
Even if you are, I mean, it's such a niche market. Like, the amiibo market is really thin.
Oh, yeah. I was expecting you to take longer on that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were trying to stay in the time constraint.
Oh, no!
Right to the point. I'm like,
My bad.
We'll do a
Let's
fucking
go.
part 3 if we need to next week.
Well, Blue can't make up her mind. Like, she wants out, and then I let her out, and then she's like meowing at the door, like, let me back in.
I mean, she wanted out because you were talking about amiibos.
I guess.
Like, what?
She's
The
like-
amiibo conversation's over?
Dude.
Let me back in. I can come
Dude,
back
her
in.
timing was perfect, because the moment we stopped talking about Nintendo, she's like, is it over? Can I come back in now? Like, even she's sick of it. I'm sorry,
Blue. You my girl.
Oh my God! Now well, we're talking about the hardware, so we won't talk about the software yet. But yeah, the whole Twitter Life thing. I think there's still a lot of potential in it, but Nintendo needs to get outside of the gimmicks. Like, if they want to compete, I think they need to stop being a toy maker and actually think about video games. But that's just my 2 cents. PlayStation VR, of course, was a huge focus. We didn't see more talk about PS4 and Neo. They didn't even touch that at all. But I think it was a smart play for them because they got to focus on they're writing out the VR stuff, right? Whereas Microsoft announced 2 consoles, which we saw coming. The Slim, which was previously codenamed Edmonton. And it's a significant upgrade. But then when they talk about they teased the Scorpio, which is going to be a true 4K console, and it's going to still be an Xbox One by like the next iteration of it. This is part of their vision of no more generations. It's going to be an ecosystem, a platform, and you can play your previous games, kind of like you can already with PC, right? So now that line is blurred completely, But the Scorpio sounds serious. The thing is, they didn't even hit what the price would be, and I wonder, like, I feel like there's a hard limit on how much a console could cost before you start saying, you know what, maybe I'll just go PC. We saw what happened with the Xbox One. People were like, what? How much? $500-600 is a hard pill to swallow, but the way they're talking about this Scorpio is gonna be beast. So,
Yeah.
let's see what TC saying some stuff here in the chat. He said, you only get Wolf Link with that amiibo. However, Link is always alone in that game, but I can see having that amiibo be handy because he's basically a sidekick and he attacks enemies for you. Yeah, that's pretty dope. BFT, I'm with you. I actually don't care if the consoles play games at 4K. I'd rather not have that. To me, that's not a selling point. Because you know how big those games are going to be? They're already huge as it is at 1080p, and we barely have true 1080p games on console. 4K is going to be, like, ridiculous. Imagine the downloads on that. Nah, that doesn't excite me. I don't need that much more detail. fix the core experience before you start making games look all more shiny. Like that doesn't me. Like the raw power of the system, it makes more potential, but I don't really care about bleeding edge graphics. I think we're past that.
Come on, Yogi. With the evolution of gaming, you're telling me you don't want to see pixel art in 4K?
Exactly, right?
Like, everyone's developing to give it a retro feel, but all the hardware is pushing to be more defined, so now your pixels will have crisp, dark edges, and, your original Mario is going to look so hot. It's going to be the freshness in 4K.
Pixelated.
Yeah, it's kind of insane. I don't know. By the way, if I randomly disappear, there's apparently a hellish storm overhead, and my lights are blinking. So
yeah,
if everything drops. Just a fair warning.
I think that storm is heading our way too, because the humidity's been insufferable lately.
You have fun with that.
Oh, BFT wants to let everybody know the game's downscale from 4K to 1080p is amazing. He loves the GTX 1080. Yeah, see, that works, because then you get the detail without like dedicating all that processing power for, I don't know. I'm not gonna go off on this rant because I feel very strongly about it, and I don't want to dedicate too much time to it. But we're just not there yet. I think we're trying to push the hardware too much when there's other areas that need to be made. But it's nice that this is gonna be a huge upgrade, not like a small thing. Like, oh, we added extra 250 megabytes of RAM, and and it's 0.1 gigahertz faster. Like the Scorpio is gonna be huge. No matter what the actual specs will end up being, they're gonna deliver on that. And if it doesn't do 4K, I don't care. They said it's gonna be 4K, true 4K. They talk about HDR and all this stuff. All right, cool. All right.
Six teraflops will push it.
Yeah, and the thing about the teraflops, like that's a huge number. But people gotta realize when you look at things like FPS and teraflops, all those numbers on their own don't mean much, because it's always a bottleneck somewhere. Your system bus, your backline, your RAM speed, your CPU speed. There's all kinds of shit you have to think about before. And also the architecture. Like, remember the Sega Saturn?
Yeah.
Remember the Sega Saturn architecturally, from an architectural perspective, was a more powerful system than the PlayStation 1. But it was such a mishmash of technology and hard to develop for that no one really took full advantage of all the processing power it had in there, like dedicated processors and all this cool stuff going on. So in the end, everything looked inferior.
Kiki said you talk too much.
Who?
She's trying to say hi to everybody.
Oh, hello.
No, she ain't here no more. She said you talk too much.
Well, damn. You guys are gonna be fired up.
Fired up, man.
TC's also making a point about the 4K stuff. You'd have to support the medium, the 4K Blu-ray discs, and we might end up going back to multi-disc content, and there's a lot of shit you have to consider. So,
yeah.
Anyway, I think the last thing in terms of hardware. Oh, and BFT shared. He actually has what was it on there? EVGA. Yeah, EVGA forums. He shared his NVIDIA benchmarks. If you want to get an early look at what that looks like.
Link them in chat.
All right. This is the Facebook link. I'll put it right there. Boom. But speaking of not NVIDIA, the Radeon RX 460, 470, 480 was it that were revealed? Did you guys check these out? I'm a Radeon guy, so I was excited about this.
I did not.
The main thing they were focusing on is the comparable performance at price points around $200 or less. They're top tier. The RX 480, the prices start at $200, and they're enclosed, self-contained system. They got the multiple fans and heat sinks built into a little chassis. We could take up some space, but it is a legit thing. And another thing they were talking about was the low power consumption. I know people always say, well, AMD stuff runs hot, but the 460, which they marketed as an esports graphics card, which I thought was a rather weird way to go in on it, but I get it. This here, they know esports is a big thing, so like, yeah, it's our esports model. It's like it runs under 75 watts and it stays cool. You know, they're talking about the 470. Runs at 1080p, 60 frames per second, constant, steady 60 frames per second, like not frame drops or anything. So like, this is what I like about Radeon. They're competitively priced, and I love the performance. I've personally never had issues with Radeon, so this got me more excited than an NVIDIA announcement. So, I'm gonna wait it out, save some money for a few months, and I think I'll probably jump on this bandwagon. Especially once the third parties come in and start making their versions.
What are the 1080s?
No, the Radeon RX.
The new Radeons.
The 460, 470, and 480.
Yeah, yeah.
At around $200, that's a compelling argument.
That's it? That's all there are?
The 480 starts at $200. Yep.
All right, so guys, I will be getting a 480. That will be in my next video card. We've already made up my mind now. Thank you.
Yeah,
because mine's starting to maybe I don't know if it's starting to cut loose, but it's 3 years old or so, or two years old, and it's starting to, it's kind of saying, hey, I don't think I'm going to work very much longer for you. So I'm getting a new video card. Well, thank you for the.
I'm well overdue for a graphics card upgrade. It's just not in the budget by any means right now, so. By the time I can get one of these, it'll probably come down. So
they're only, but you said they're $200.
Yeah,
that's what their starting price is
for the 480. Yep.
Really? Mm-hmm. That's really low, dude.
Yeah, they've always been competitive, but this is probably the most competitive line yet. And
I've never seen them start a card at $200.
Hey, the CEO, Lisa Su, I think is her name. She came out of that and she announced all this stuff. And they were talking about new processor architecture. They showed off this self-contained backpack computer for VR, so you can take a gaming mobile. They got a lot of cool stuff that they're working on. They were really deep on the 10. I mean, they even got the engineering guys involved, the lab guys involved. It was funny. So. Yeah, this new RX line, it looks solid. But that's all the hardware stuff, really. Customizable Xbox One controllers. You can choose your color.
That was so bullshit.
People got really excited about this is one of the things that really everyone has been talking about.
Here's the problem. They offered this customizable Xbox One controller where you can do all this stuff to compete with the mod and controller mod companies, but they didn't offer it on the Elite models. And that is stupid. If they would have offered all that customization with the ability to have the paddles and whatnot of the Elite, the trigger stops, that would have been huge. I could see everybody going insane. Freaking Scuff fanboys would be repenting in the streets over their stupid ways, but they didn't. They said it's only core controllers, and I mean, now all that's going to do is make other controller paint job and controller mod companies drop their prices.
Yeah,
and still undercut Xbox. I think it was a bad call on their part.
There's still, but there's gonna be there's gonna be a market for it because people are buying the Elite controllers and people are excited about this. It's not for us, obviously not for everyone. It's not for us on this podcast, but maybe for our listeners. I mean,
wait, what?
The controller mods from Microsoft, they're trying to control the market a little more. But Fatal's right. The third parties that take advantage say, "Oh, we could do that, but cheaper."
Yeah.
But there's people that will pay to have official hardware. There are people that will do that.
Well, I did, but I have an Elite. But this be when the new mods come out, new colors and new. I will sure as hell spring for a new controller.
Right, but
another Elite controller.
Exactly, another Elite controller. That's not Elite controllers though.
But I don't
base ass controllers.
Well, no. Okay, well then I'm fine. I don't really care what my controller looks like.
But no paddles, no trigger stops, no interchangeable sticks.
I have the paddles and trigger stops and interchangeable sticks. So I don't need those.
Right,
Just
but that's
if all
what
it
I'm
is,
saying
if all it is what you're saying is it's a different color, but I can't have all the paddles, stops,
Right.
and all that shit. I don't. I'll keep my black ass generic. Wait,
That's exactly.
Let me say
that's
that
what I'm
differently. I will keep my.
I'll keep my black ass.
Wait, I will keep my generic Elite controller, the black and silver. I think it looks sleek as hell anyway, so I don't give a fuck. I don't need a fucking red one or a blue one or one that lights up and shit. Who am I gonna impress? Myself?
That's the point.
Cat.
It was. I think it was a bad play on their part. They were doing it. They should have gone into the Elite controller, let that be customized, and go head to head with Scuff instead of going head to head with all these guys who are custom modding shells and stuff out of their garage. I mean, dude, like even Cinch will let you have all the stuff like custom shells, custom designs, your custom logo, and the text editing with the ability to still have the Cinch buttons to make it tournament legal for roughly the same price Microsoft is asking.
You know, and in spite of that, there's still going to be a market for this because there are people that, again, will pay the premium just to say it's an official controller and have that support. You know?
But those are the same people who buy like the $50,000 white Kanye T-shirt. Like, I'm just gonna wait on natural selection to weed them out.
Yeah, no. I mean, I feel like the way I would get more excited about this is if they said this is not only they're customizable, but these are in between the standard controller and the Elite. That would excite me because they already have to build it when you order, right, to your specs.
Yeah.
And then put higher quality parts because as much as I love the Xbox One controller, I still feel like the 360, they did some things better with that. Particularly the shoulder buttons, they felt more responsive and less clicky.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're spending $50 or more on a controller, I really want it to feel like a quality controller, and it doesn't make a difference when you get a cheap controller. Like after a while, you start I feel disgusted after a while unless I really just get used to it and learn to live with it because that's the only option I have. You know.
Yeah.
So. There's gonna be a market for it, but I mean, yeah, people talked about this like it was like the biggest thing since sliced bread. So I figured we should bring it up, but it is crazy. Like it's just you could put different colors and and get your name engraved on the controller. Who's gonna care unless A, you're a streamer and you get it on cam, or B, you have friends over and you want your own controller and no one else will put the grubby hands on.
I mean, I have that anyways. I've got my controller. My friends reach for it. That's when I go, well, I could have spent the extra, $200 from Microsoft. Or I went to the dollar store and bought this ruler. Oh, get your hands off my controller. Okay, cool. See? $1 ruler.
That is definitely more cost effective.
Yeah. I even took a Sharpie and wrote my name on the ruler with a little Stussy S like you used to do in junior high.
Oh man, yep. I am that stingy person that will write my name on shit because especially with my kids they tend to do things like play with greasy hands or I don't know, pick their noses and then play with the controller. And they're like, can I borrow the controller? Yeah, here. This is the community controller. How about that one? Nope, that's my controller. That one stays cooties free. I know. Father of the Year, I know.
Hell yeah, you got my vote.
Yeah, I'm anal when it comes to that stuff. I like sharing, but when it comes down to anything, when you lend stuff to anyone, no one's gonna take care of it as well as you do. So. Because of that, there's a market for that customization, that personal touch. You can express yourself. Woohoo! Anyway, moving on. BFT says that he hasn't looked too much into the Radeon line because he's an NVIDIA guy. He hasn't been too interested. But he says on paper there's gonna be faster clocks and a difference in VRAM. Yeah, but when the third party comes in, the initial offerings will be 4 gigs versus the 8 gig, but it's going to be third parties offering the 8 gigs. I guarantee it, They're gonna come out. That's what always happens with the Radio Online. So there'll be those alternatives. And the thing that I look at with hardware is, yeah, people can say, well, NVIDIA is faster and performs better, but how much better? Like, I look at the performance per capita. You know, is the price difference really justifying that difference in performance? And that's how I look at it. And I'm a cheap bastard.
That's why I have a full AMD machine.
There you go. Budget friendly. Like, oh, it's 1% faster, but it costs twice as much. That method doesn't line up to me. You know. But anyway. So let's talk about the games, guys. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go through it somewhat in order of the presentation. A lot of these were revisited afterwards during the demos and additional non-press conference stuff. But we're going through it in order of like the press conferences, more or less. And if you want a pretty good source that I liked for recaps of what was covered, E3recap.com is pretty cool. It shows you all the different games, and it marks if it's a VR game, if it's exclusive, etc. And when you look at that site, there's a lot of shit. The only thing I don't like is that it's all like tiled graphics, which looks cool, but I just want what happened to good old simple lists with clickable links? Everything has to be all fancy with graphics. Yep, I'm getting curmudgeon again. Anyway, it's a cool thing. E3recap.com. All right. So the first game that caught my eye from E3 is Mass Effect Andromeda. What do you guys think? Wow, don't jump at once.
What?
I've got a major problem. All right, I'm not a Mass Effect guy.
I'm not either.
That's fine.
I was a big like Knights of the Old Republic guy, and people said I would love Mass Effect, but Mass Effect hit in a weird time where I didn't feel I had the time between a lot of other commitments in my life to deal with RPGs. Like to this day, I still really don't play RPGs because of time constraints. I mean, back in the day, I had 999 capped hours on almost every Final Fantasy. And right after 10 is kind of where life and job and interacting and having to be social and, a human being. And so I didn't have time anymore for a lot of RPGs. So I missed a lot of Mass Effect, unfortunately. Andromeda, it looked pretty. But I don't know how it ties into the Mass Effect trilogy.
It's basically a new story, so you don't have to play the previous one. But if you do feel the need to go back to them, you can even skip the first one and just play Mass Effect 2, which I think is the best of the series, and of course Mass Effect 3 to close out the story. In fact, the Mass Effect, if you jump into Mass Effect 2, it'll kind of catch you up with the story anyway and let you make the decisions you would have made in the first game.
Yeah, but see, I have a different opinion on what I thought was the best game that they showed, and I'll get there when we get there. I'm sure it's going to be mentioned.
Oh yeah. Like Obi said, we might have to do a third part, and by then we'll really be beating the dead horse. I'm sorry, Obi. But they didn't really show too much about the game. I'm just excited about it because I'm like you guys. Like I think Obi's in the same boat. I don't have time to commit to a single game that much. Like I love games with high replay value, but I don't want to feel like I'm married to that game and I have to play because I have to finish it in order to get my money's worth. Mass Effect that series is one of the exceptions. It's one of the few games that I've actually completed. I've completed all of them. But at the same time, it's not a huge commitment like some other games. Like some of the Final Fantasies are really long, and you play any JRPG, you're talking about hundreds of hours sometimes. Freaking Skyrim, I never beat that. Because people are talking about I'm 300 hours in and I'm still exploring everything. Like, oh, I'm good. So. Oh, my dog came in.
Dead air.
Hi. Sorry.
Right.
I have a visitor. all the pets are distracting me tonight.
Yeah. Too
Hi.
bad.
It's my bad. Anyway, moving on. Injustice 2. Anybody excited about that? No.
Yeah, I'm waiting
Not
to see
really.
what it is more. Actually.
Story-wise, great. Why are you whining? She's like everybody's trying to get my attention. She's like ramming her head into me. So yeah, Injustice 2, I'm excited to play the story. In terms of a fighting game, I don't like it as much as some other fighting games. Like I still think Killer Instinct is a better fighting game. I feel it flows better. But I did really enjoy Injustice, and I'm glad that BFT and others encouraged me to play through it. It's a fun game. So not super hyped about it, but I will play it eventually. Battlefield 1. You guys think this will bring you back to Battlefield?
That yes and no, because
Why
I
are you
really want to
whining?
play it because I've played a lot of the Battlefields, but I think I don't. It's all gonna go where I can actually do. I mean, it's all gonna happen to what I can actually do. Like if I can actually play the game and actually enjoy it, then I probably will get it. But if it's something that I'm just too busy, I'm not gonna waste money just to have the game just in case somebody else has it and they might want to play.
Yeah, you know. What do you think, Fatal?
A lot of people, especially in the Call of Duty community, clamored for the longest time about boots on the ground. Boots on the ground, boots on the ground, boots on the ground. And, of course, as we saw with Infinity Ward, we're not getting boots on the ground. But now, when it goes over to Battlefield, I think you're going to hear those same people who screamed boots on the ground, and they're going to be like, boots on the ground. I love this, except for planes aren't on the ground, and tanks don't have boots, and now vehicles make this game stupid, and there's always a complaint. There's always going to be a mass outpour. Unfortunately, I don't think it'll be any kind of competitive shooter title. It's definitely more for the casual big battle kind of groups, but I think it'll do well. I think it'll do really well. It's probably going to see a lot better sales than any of the other Battlefields have, because they're going to take a lot of the COD community before a lot of the whinier people in the COD community realize, oh, we fucked up, and we don't want boots on, like, we want boots on the ground, but we want it in Call of Duty, and they're hyping towards Battlefield, but I think it'll get a cheap pop, and then that'll be kind of it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think it's gonna revitalize the series enough to bring people back. Maybe get some new players that haven't played Battlefield in a long time or haven't played Battlefield ever, if that even is a thing. So I think it's interesting too, because a lot of people were saying, besides the boots on the ground thing, they were also saying people were worried that it was going to be very slow paced. Like you're talking about, trench warfare and ground focus. They're like, oh, that's going to be really slow, but it actually looked like pretty intense battles. A good balance of having that openness of Battlefield, but also having enough encounters where it stayed interesting. So I think they got the balance right from what we've seen so far. And the tanks, if they balance the vehicles right, they have Zeppelins in there. How does that work? Like, I think if they do that right, with the biplanes and all that crap, it could still be fun and competitive enough, but not, maybe not esports, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Obi, any last thoughts on that?
No.
Forza Horizon 3. Excited? Yay, nay, meh?
Never been a Forza fan, just don't care. Looks cool. Like, if I was into more racing games, it'd probably be awesome. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm not a big racer, but like if I did jump into a racing game right now, it'd probably be something like this, where it's more arcade style. It's got to jump in and out play.
Super open worldy.
Yeah, like Burnout Paradise.
Pretty cool.
Remember that Burnout Paradise?
Yeah.
That was fun. So yeah, probably it won't be a day one thing, but eventually might, for a change of pace. I mean, Obi and I have been playing what is it, Need for Speed Rivals. That's pretty cool, and they got the crew. We still need to play with the crew. That's the free game they had on Games with Gold. I think it's still free, so we'll try that out.
It is still free.
So
No, it's just those games are just something to break up the monotony of us playing. Like, It would be like for Blades, it would be, because he's always playing Hearthstone now, it would just be like, hey, dude, come take a break and play Overwatch, or let's go play some Need for Speed on Xbox or something. Just to get that out of his head, and then he can start over and do better, actually. So, I don't know. I'm still looking up this RX 480, and it's got 3 HDMI ports.
That's good.
Yeah, but, man, do I really want to run full HDMI? I really like this DVI on my screen for some reason.
Yeah, DVI is still better, but there's ways around the bottlenecks of
Well, I mean,
HDMI.
I can get a converter. I mean, if I want to, but I like it would be no. I wouldn't. Why would I even need to convert it if I'm just going to have it to HDMI?
Well, if you get a
I have a BenQ monitor. I have 4 HDMI slots in the back, so I mean, it's not like I can't.
Yeah, if you get the HDMI to DVI converter, you can run a higher resolution. So you can either get the upscaler or the conversion cable.
Well, all I'm doing is run. I don't stream anything higher than 720. It's not even worth it.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's taxing my. Even though it's just me, even if I'm streaming all PC or PC and Xbox, it's still taxing the shit out of my machine to run 1080. I can do it, but it's like all the trouble that it's worth. And then half the people that are watching me on mobile can't even watch it.
Yep.
No, I'm good.
Yep. What else we have?
DDR5 though.
Kind of jumping ahead, because this was a Microsoft thing. We still have more Bethesda stuff. Actually, let me move this down so we don't get as confused. Elder Scrolls Legends. Anybody excited about that? Card game, Elder Scrolls? No? Man?
I am actually. That two-sided, one on each side, and you can actually have 2 lanes. I actually want to play that. Only if it's going to be free, though. Not paying for it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be free to play. It's kind of hard.
Because really, if I want to play a card game, I have 3 or 4 awesome-ass decks that will beat anybody into the ground as long as I play them right on Hearthstone. So, whatever. Cthulhu's fucking awesome.
I was more hyped about Gwent.
Yes, and that actually came during the Microsoft presser. Yeah,
Right.
I agree. The Gwent's more exciting, but
it didn't look bad. I mean, in fairness, I don't think it'll be terrible. I'm interested to see how they're going to do it. So Gwent is a game we know. It's not like Elder Scrolls has had this card game before. We haven't. This is the first kind of.
Did you hear my dog?
instance.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
She's freaking
Weak.
weak. Dude, she's whining like crazy. She wants me to love on her. It's like, what's wrong with
Kick her
you?
ass out of the fucking room. She's doing something.
Oh my god. Well, apparently one of the kids let her in because she was whining at my door. Like, she wanted my loving. Jesus, what is it? Did I fart and attract all the animals at the house? I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I think Gwent's more what people are clamoring for, but I think with Elder Scrolls Legends, it's going to be enough fanfare. It's going to have its market, and really, I think Bethesda's saying, don't expect a new Elder Scrolls game for a while, but here's your little, your, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Your consolation prize, let's say that. You hear? And that's freaking big head. Alright, lay down, lay down. I know she's like breathing all up in my lap with her hot breath.
Don't know if I hear her or if someone is sawing through a redwood, but I definitely hear something.
Dude, she's forced herself into my lap. And like she's putting her head up on the microphone like she wants to talk to you guys. She's being a total brat right now. She's lucky I love her.
Like, when you say this, you do realize I envision your dog looking at you, like from that movie, just going, I'm the co-host now.
Dude.
I'm the co-host. Like...
That's all I hear.
I got her laying down now so she can kind of... What, dude? Well, Obi, she's like your dog. She's a big head and a freaking lug of a thing, and she's trying to act like she's a little dog and get into a small space between my legs. So
Oh, you're talking about the full-size lap dogs. Got it.
exactly. Yeah,
That's what mine is, you fat ass. She won't. She tries to get right up on my lap. I'm like, what are you doing? Get away from me.
she's being such a butthead right now. I think it's the heat too. Like she's uncomfortable too, so that's like annoying her. Let's just say. I gave her water, and she's like still like. I'm like, damn, that's how I feel. This humidity. Anywho, Quake Champions. So we talked about a little bit about that earlier. You guys excited about it? I think it's PC only.
I'm pretty hype about Quake Champions. It looks really good.
Yeah, and it's interesting too that they went with PC only. I'm surprised they didn't even entertain any other platforms. At least for now.
I think a lot of your Quake fans are going to be PC though. Like
That's true.
I mean, Quakes have traditionally ported poorly to console. But
I like the
PC
Quake.
has always had a huge following.
I'm gonna be weird. I'm gonna say I like the Quake that was on Dreamcast. I didn't play enough with the last Quake that was on 360. Which one was that? Was that Quake? What was that one? Was it
Quake Arena, Quake 3 Arena?
Yeah, was that the last one?
I think so. It's like I said, I wasn't even a big fan of the ports that were consoled. So
Arena was 3, and that was on Dreamcast. The fourth one was the one that people didn't really like, but that was decent. Yeah, BFT said it 4. Yeah, and I mean, you're right. The core of the audience is on PC, but I think eventually they might. I don't know. There might be another announcement there, but the core definitely the PC, so it makes sense.
I love Asus.
Asus is great. Are you looking at the cards? Did you order a card just now?
No.
Okay.
My motherboard, my Asus, it's compatible with DDR3 and 5, so I don't have to. I can get the new motherboard, the card.
Nice.
The new 480 is DDR5, so and my motherboard's compatible with both. As long as I take the other one out, of course, because it's DDR3.
Word. All right, what else? Blah, 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 blah.
Off topic.
No, bring it back full circle. I won't talk about Elder Scrolls Online again. Oh, Elder Scrolls Skyrim Remastered, or they call it Special Edition.
see, I felt that was the one that they were like, since you're not going to have an Elder Scrolls, enjoy this. And bringing mods to the console was good, because they kind of tested that with Fallout, but it's still just Skyrim. Like, people are still playing it. Don't get me wrong. People love it. But I don't think it was enough of an offering to...
That's what I'm saying. I think this combined with Elder Scrolls Legend is like, look, this Elder Scrolls stuff. It's just not the Elder Scrolls stuff you want.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't get why people don't find a home in Elder Scrolls Online. I guess really the majority of the Elder Scrolls fanatics are single-player, like antisocial people.
Well, plus they were pissed. They thought it was basically a remade World of Warcraft.
Yeah, basically. That's what I was going to say.
And the thing is, I play it and I still get the feeling of Elder Scrolls, but with friends, and I like that. I don't know. Like, there's differences, but it's not that different that I'm like, ugh, what is this? And I think this is like really hardcore people that are like, this is nothing like Elder Scrolls. It's like, why? Because you don't have the depth of the gameplay. You can't expect that much depth in an MMO. At some point, they gotta cut it off. Like, oh, we want everything. You should be able to interact with everything in the environment. Like, no, that's not gonna happen.
And that's why WoWs existed and they have died. Just saying.
Elder Scrolls still
Next.
growing, man. All right, so they had Prey. Did you guys look at that?
Dude, Prey looks
I can't
amazing.
fucking wait.
Though it has nothing to do with the game of the namesake game that came out on was the first game that came out on 360.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that. It's something totally different, and I can't wait.
Well, it said it's a reimagining of Prey. Like it has loosely to deal. It deals loosely with what Prey was, but they're completely redoing the story. So it looks really good. Like that whole Groundhog Day thing they had going on was kind of creepy. Like, what do you guys think the story is there?
You guys go look at that. It's in chat for those that are live. For those that are live, it's in chat. Go check it out. You just got to put in your birth date. Yeah.
I mean, we have the guy that, like, he looks like he's on a space station, and every time he wakes up and he looks in the mirror and, like, his eye is red. Like, it looks like it's going to have a little bit of a horror element. Is that what you guys want it to be? Do you want it to be more, like, action, more horror? What do you think?
I want action. Well, both. Like I
Dead
just
Space?
think it's like he's like a prey. He's prey, or he's gonna be the one hunting for prey. I mean, you think about how many different uses. I mean, how many different what can prey be used in? With the video that we saw in E3, even the one that if you guys are following that link, you can watch it now. But you see it. It says "Good morning, Morgan," and then he wakes up and he goes look in the mirror, and his eye's a little pink, and then.
A little pink. His eye was like bloodshot, man.
No. The first time it was a little pink.
Oh, it did get progressively worse.
Next time he came in there, all of a sudden, "Good morning, Morgan," and he sat up again, and it was a little bit redder. And then the third time he came in there, and it said, "Good morning, Morgan," again, and it was so red that like you would think like some bitch was on, it was a fireball, and then you had a black pupil, and then it cut out. Like nobody really knows what it is. I hope they really amp it up. If I'm disappointed, fuck Bethesda and fuck Arcane too.
I think it'll be a very strong kind of survival horror. Like a very first-person survival horror kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks spectacular. It just from like the hooks and the tag that they kind of gave it. I'm really interested to see. Like, this is theirs to screw up, basically.
It is.
Yeah, I'm in it. I'm in if it's more like a Dead Space, like you guys are saying, like survival horror.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's more like if the story gets in the way of the gameplay, that's when I start to check out. What the hell? Someone wrote on my chat. You guys want to hear this? This is really off topic.
Mm-hmm.
I set my world on fire. So one time I accidentally ejaculated on a Starbucks gift card. Me bought my caramel macchiato with extra cream to experiment. I thought it was delicious. Wow. There's something to take to the bank, I guess. What that has to do with Prey?
Bank are you gonna take that to?
I don't know.
Banker.
A special bank that takes all kinds of currencies.
Roy.
I do want to add though. I noticed. I did catch that there was like he was starting to get like weird flashbacks of like Operation Room, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm mixing it up with another trailer, but I could have sworn that he started getting little glimpses of other thing, like maybe they're wiping his memory and then simulating an environment, and it's gonna be one of these things where he's gonna realize that his life is a simulation, and then he's gonna fight against it. Maybe like a portal lab rat syndrome kind of thing, It's like, no, I'm tired of being a lab rat. You want to escape, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Could be. I'm getting a little of a hint of that. So like, in that essence, he could be the prey. He's being hunted down because he's trying to break out of the matrix, so to speak. That could be an interesting direction. So
yeah.
You don't see too much like that. So yeah. I think a lot of us, though, we're like going to make our own conclusion. I'm scared that we're going to be disappointed when we find out what it actually is.
I probably am. And I'm not one of those people that is going to go out to get it the day of it comes out. Yes, I do really want to play it, but unfortunately, like there's no betas, there's no nothing out yet. Well, yet. I don't know if there is going to be, but there's nothing out yet. So like I want to know more about what the game is. Because I'm already thinking, we're already theorycrafting like crazy, saying, it could be this, 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 and this. And all those ideas are really freaking cool, but if it's not one of those ideas, it's going to be like, okay, I'm not spending $40, $50, $60 for this game.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll wait till it drops to 20, and then I might get it.
Now, see, there's another game coming out sooner that has my interest more than even that. And so I'm going to use that game to ignore things until it gets a lot closer to release date on Prey. I can kind of forget about Prey until it gets closer, we get more info.
And this game is?
We Happy Few.
Oh, yes!
Yes, I want to play that too.
That game, when I saw that at E3, it looked phenomenal. Like, it played on all these little things that I absolutely love. With like the redacting machine, it instantly grabbed me at 1984, and then with like the masks that they're all wearing. I thought of A Clockwork Orange.
Yes.
And then as
Stanley
they're going,
Kubrick's best work, arguably.
right, and as they're going, and it's like, did you take your joy? He didn't take his joy, and it shows them hitting the piñata and eating the candy, and it turns into that giant rat. I immediately went BioShock, the first
Yes.
BioShock.
Yep.
And so it touched on 1984, Clockwork Orange, and BioShock, and I was like, I must have it.
I also got a little hint.
I have to.
I also got a little hint, like for me, like I totally saw BioShock and of course Fallout because the whole dystopian future kind of thing, you know. I got that hint too. Like in the Fallout universe, you run into some people that are not really right in the head, you know. So,
Yeah.
but definitely BioShock. Like, and even though I may not play quite like BioShock, I think it's gonna fill that void because let's face it, we're not gonna get another BioShock game.
I don't know. I actually think that this would be really close. Like,
Yeah. Well, this is a smaller production, though. That's the thing that might make it sad because I think this is going to be like a $20 offering, a $20-$30 offering. It's not going to be a full off-the-shelf kind of thing.
okay.
So, even, you know.
My money. Because
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what that means?
Oh, yeah.
That means that they're setting the basis for a universe that they'll be able to expand more positively into. Look what happened with BioShock. People loved the first BioShock, and we were so immersed, and they sold us so heavily on Rapture.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got BioShock 2, and everyone's like, what is this crap? I don't want to play as a Big Daddy.
I enjoyed I enjoyed BioShock 2, but that was an unfortunate decision for them to change the formula so soon.
Right, and then they went to Infinite, and they left Rapture altogether, and people were like, okay, now we riot. Now we absolutely riot. What is this horse crap?
Yeah.
But these guys, I think that they're going to establish, and I could easily see sequels coming out because just in the short trailer it showed, it took that psychological horror factor that I loved from the original BioShock and that tension. Like, you felt tense just watching the trailer. You're not even playing it, and you're just like, oh shit, what's going to happen? Oh damn, what's with all these people in the mask? Did he just kill that dude? What in the... He is force-feeding him drugs. Oh, this is some bullshit. And then all of a sudden, I'm so invested. I'm like, oh my god, I have to know what happens. And there's tons of room. It is probably one of my top picks for E3.
Oh, I agree. It's up there for me, too. I think it's one of the strongest presentations. And it didn't even show that much, but it showed enough of the gameplay and setting up the story. And I think it's going to feel... I think what BioShock did really well is... I often find the games that people commend for having a great story tend to have shitty or unremarkable gameplay. And to me, a good story is not enough. Like, I hate when people review games and they go, it's a little tough, but about 5 hours in, it really opens up. Like, can you imagine if we talked about movies like that? Oh man, that movie sucked until you got an hour and a half in, and then it was really good. Like, fuck that. Like, no.
That's how I felt about the Blair Witch Project. It was total crap for the first hour and a half. But man, when the credits rolled and they let me out of the theater, I was ecstatic.
Oh god. See, I like the Blair Witch, but I might be one of the few people that did.
Yeah, you are. Like, that was so bad.
Oh man. Well, but you know, the thing with BioShock, the way BioShock weaved the story into the gameplay, and the gameplay was very satisfying, but then you actually picked up the lore organically as you went along, and you were really immersed in that world. Like Rapture, we just fell in love with it. Like, even though it was fucked up, it was kind of lonely. You know, the few people we ran into were not really friendly, so to speak, and I mean, the shit that happens in that, like, it was really heavy, a really heavy story, but you kept wanting more. Like, it's just, it's one of the few things I would say that's close to perfection. Like, truly a masterpiece.
And see, I feel like We Happy Few is going to build on that. Like, I'm really, it's got a bar set in my head.
Yeah.
And I don't think it'll disappoint. And I'll find out here in a month.
Yeah, it's not that far out. So, you know, at the cheaper price point, I think it's gonna be it's gonna be a shoe-in, you know, a must-buy at that price. And you're right, if they do really well with it, it could set them up for a bigger production. Because this is a lesser-known studio. I forgot what else they've done, but they're not like a big studio, you know. So hopefully they'll do well with it, and they could do something more meaty. So BFT says, love the story and the world of Bowser, didn't like the gameplay. See, I actually like the gameplay, but I agree, like, if you don't like the gameplay, I don't care how great the story is and the world and the characters. Like, that's kind of my problem with things like The Last of Us and Life is Strange and all the Telltale games. Like, if the gameplay isn't there, I don't really care. I don't know. So more Microsoft stuff. They had Inside. Did you see this, guys? Another kind of creepy ambiance kind of thing. But it didn't show enough to let us make our own conclusions, which leads me to believe it's going to be a very narrative-driven experience. Like, they don't want to spoil what's happening. You just see people looking from a high place and below, and they're like, what's this? What's going on in there? But we don't know what's happening inside. Then they got the whole black and white thing going on. It's from the people that did Limbo. So if you like Limbo, I think you'll like this. Another budget price game. So I'm excited about it for some reason. Something about it appeals to me. I like the tone. But I think it'll be something you have to be in the mood for. Of course, Minecraft had to be on the Microsoft presser. They showed off the cross-platform play, which actually isn't truly, completely cross-platform. Of course, they had the VR stuff. Oh, and it was very awkward. Did you see John Carmack come out with the... What did he have? Did he have the... It wasn't the Oculus. He's the Oculus guy, but he came out with like a Gear VR. Which was kind of interesting. And he's like, look at me. And he cracks me up when he talks because he has a worse lisp than I do. And he's like, oh, guys, let's check it out. Walking down the street. I can't even do his voice, but he talks really funny. Like, he's like... He talks like a stereotypical nerd, and it just cracks you up. It's like, hey, he's filthy rich. He doesn't have to give a shit.
Right.
He's like, I'm in a minecart. Yay! This is... And then he was like... It was completely... It sounded so scripted. Like, you know, when I think about Minecraft, this is like the VR experience I always wanted. No, it isn't. Stop.
Yeah.
This isn't the epitome of VR. Stop it. Don't lie to us. That's kind of a big problem with E3, especially with Ubisoft. Like, I thought with Ubisoft especially, they had so many scripted, like, supposed real multiplayer experience. I hate that shit. Like, don't give me, like, these fake experiences of people, like, working as a team and being really organized. That doesn't happen. Even with friends that you play with on a regular basis, you know, unless you're playing competitively, there's a lot of, like, bullshit talk. You talk about your pets or... You know, your girlfriend or your wife's yelling in the background, or kids are crying, you know, all kinds of shit. That still happens. Give us that real experience. No, none of this, like, I don't know if you guys saw the Ghost Recon Wildlands thing, but you know, these guys are like, I got a tango on my 6. All right, I'm going down the I-90. Our rendezvous point will be the junction point at Sector 4. Like, what the fuck? No one talks like that. And I love tactical shooters. Like, stop it. Like, you don't even hear that kind of stuff on really high-level esports gameplay. I like the really good guys, like the really, really good guys. That shit's rare. I'm sorry. It's a freaking unicorn. You don't go into pubs or even with regular friends and have that kind of tie. It's just so scripted. And the Minecraft thing from Carmack, it just cracked me up. It was like, oh, I'm going down a mine. Hey, let me check out what you guys did. Man, that's really good work you guys did. I really like the dragon. Like, oh, God.
Yeah. That dragon's really spiffy, guys.
That's his voice. That's the voice. That's the one. That's the way he sounded. Nailed it.
I actually nailed it too. Stupid head.
It's that suffering succotash voice. That's what it is, man. That's great.
Sucker and succotash.
That's good, guys. But BFT said he'd love it if people actually talk like that in game. You know, and don't get me wrong. You do get some organized people. You know, when Obi and I play together on like Rainbow Six Siege, we do get pretty serious at times, and we'll get structured like that. But you know, most of the time,
it's all having fun. The only time we get serious is when I know, like, when we're gonna do an entry or something like that, and I know, like, okay, we're going in now. So then you're like right behind me. So if I miss somebody, you can shoot them. You know what I mean? That's all that is. I just don't want to die, dude.
Or if we're doing ranked play, you know, we're trying to, or we have like the bonus item on, we want to take advantage of the wins to get the extra XP and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we're playing for keeps, but like most of the time,
we
it's
don't
not like
even
that.
play anyway anymore. So I mean, it's whatever.
I haven't been playing games. Period. I told you I'm going through shit.
I know.
We'll catch up soon. I just gotta get some affairs in order. But I know.
You better hurry up and play, man, before long. I'm not gonna have it. I'm gonna be busier than you are.
Jeez, no pressure though.
Hey, just saying.
What are you barking at? Man, all the pets are spazzing out. But yeah, there's still a ton more games to talk about. We talked a little bit about Halo Wars 2. Did you really get to play?
I did. I
Much?
really liked it. I really enjoyed it. Halo Wars to me, Halo Wars 2 to me was the only time that I would really play it. Like, I played it throughout the beta. Like, even if I was solo, I still played it just to get the I could pretty much build anybody now.
Can I say, though, I wanted to play with you more on Saturday and Sunday, and Carl at the time, I couldn't get on at all. Like, I finally got the game start up, and it just, I was having all kind of problems finding a match or just getting the game to load. Like, after I got to the title screen, like, to the menu, it was weird shit.
But the only time that I would actually play it was if I had a teammate that I knew we could actually conversate. Because really, honestly and truly, me and Yogi actually we got to play like 1 or 2 games, I think, and then I was playing with somebody else that was in the gang. And whenever I actually had a teammate, like we could save each other. Like, if you're not talking, if you're going in there solo and you actually have a teammate and then you have 2 other people that nobody can talk to, it gets really, really, like, the other guy's not, he's not pushing up. Like, I have, 100 troops in my thing. I've got everything upgraded to 100 or so, to where, like, half of my troops are at the top, and then I'm going to do a pincer, and I said, hey, dude, bring all your troops to the middle. Take A now. And I took A.
I don't know what's with it tonight.
You can stop keying up would be nice. But I took A, like, I pushed into A, and then he left me out to dry. So then when he finally pushed in, I was dead. And he's like, well, why'd you die? Because you didn't push in when I told you to, dumbass.
The dog's like, I would have communicated in Halo Wars. I'll communicate for anything.
No shit. Even during your podcast, that's...
Half a sausage, I'll tell you anything you want to know. What's up?
I mean, I'm excited for Halo Wars 2. I feel like they should do more betas before it comes out, because 1 week is shit. Like, that doesn't give you much opportunity if you have a job and other responsibilities and trouble. Or I put it on the forum that said, look, there was trouble. I know a lot of people are having trouble getting the game to even work, let alone find a match. It's not going to give us enough time to really test out the game and give you valuable input.
I could honestly see Halo Wars, if they give it the right push and the right amount of people play it. I could honestly see that being an esport.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, because it's like StarCraft. Kinda. It has that basic, you need to, build this, and you need to upgrade this, you need to make sure that you do everything in like a sequence, and then when you're at that point to where you upgrade your main base, you have 50, 60 soldiers out there to where you can start pressuring points, taking other objectives, and you're doing it with a team, and that could be something that could be, I mean, that's a 2-person esport team right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And the full game is going to have up to 6 or 8 teams. And different modes thereof. There's a lot of potential. You can have 2v2v2, like 4-way battle royale, or
as long as
player,
as long as they still have their 1v1, their 1v1 maps, which I think they said they're going to be having at least 2 of those.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that, because there's times where I might want to say, hey, I want to go play ranked, and I don't have another person on, so like I'm gonna go play by myself. So I'm gonna go play solo 1v1. If I lose, it's my fault.
Yeah. And the thing is, when you play with another team member, there's a lot of pressure because you don't know how they play, and you might disappoint them or something. And like, I'm gonna do this. You realize that you need to know how to play off each other. But it's a different dynamic if you play a pub or people you know. Like, I know already from playing with you, like, you know, you focus more on resource building and getting a strong army going, a strong defense. I've learned more to go out and explore and get those early resource captures.
Well, now I can do both at the same time. That's where I'm up to. Like, I can go get my captures. I can actually start to micromanage, because all I do is I get my MMO mouse, and then I put groups of people on different numbers on my mouse.
Yeah.
So then I have 12 buttons right there that I can have 12 different groups I want to, and I can put any group anywhere. And it's starting to get to that point where now I'm getting all my resources up and but I'm also taking up cap C and D and whatever is up north on my side of the map. So it's
and that in that domination mode too, they make it so you have to get those resources and hold on to as many points as possible, because if you don't control those choke points and have those resources, then you'll lose fast.
Yeah.
So
and that's what it is. And then once people start to do that, they'll actually be zerging that A point. So then they have middle map pressure, because then while you're fighting for middle map pressure, they could sneak somebody all the way up top and around to take D.
Oh yeah.
Or to take B on your side, or whatever. So I mean, there's a whole bunch of things that you can do, and I'm excited about it. I am.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
I hope it actually goes somewhere. I hope they give us another beta.
I think they have to. They really have to, because like
just in case.
The write-ups about the open beta, I think, were really unfair. Like, yeah, there was glitches, there's a lack of polish, but there's a lot of potential there, and I think this is a really good RTS on console. I think they did a good job in it. If they just tweak it a little bit, there's going to be a lot of potential, and it's going to fill a strong niche. I know we got to wrap up soon, but I just want to mention 2 more games from the Microsoft presser, and then we'll pick it up from here next show.
You got 1 minute apiece on each of them. Go.
Well, Recore. So we've seen a lot of this. This is one of the games I'm really looking forward to. And sadly, they didn't show enough of it. They did show some gameplay, but we still didn't really know much what it is. Some people are saying it's MOBA. But we find out after the Microsoft conference that Recore, is going to be basically Mega Man meets Metroidvania type of game. Now, that's interesting. And that got me even more excited about it. 'Cause I like the whole theme of it, like your robots as pets. So Recore, I think, has a lot of potential, and it's going to be exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem, at least initially. So that's pretty cool. And it's the same guy that brought us Mighty Number 9 and Mega Man, of course. And Scalebound. I don't know why people really shit on this game, but I think it's going to be cool. I got a little sense of Panzer Dragoon Saga and some hints of a Final Fantasy type of game, but with a focus on real-time combat. And the thing that really sold me on it is it's a 4-player co-op, which I don't feel like there's enough co-op experiences out there. So I'm kind of in on this. You guys have any thoughts on Scalebound or Recore?
It's a couple of those games where I only heard about it just at E3. I'm still kind of seeing what's going to happen with it. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fatal.
I mean, I'll be honest. Until just now, when you said it was going to be how they're doing Recore, I had no mass interest in the game. None. Okay, the concept's alright, but I was I can kind of take it or leave it. It almost looked like more of a kiddie game when I had first seen it, And I was kind of okay, so that's going to be cool for younger kids, but it's not something I'm really going to play. If it's actually going to play in the Metroidvania style, then I could do that. I could see playing it, giving it a shot, and I'll probably have to go back and rewatch a lot of stuff about it. The other one, I haven't heard about it. Don't know much about it, so...
To be fair, they've really undersold a lot of these games. So I think hopefully they'll play it up more the closer we get to them, but I feel like they're underselling these games, and maybe I'm just looking at them and making up my own conclusions in my head, this is going to be awesome because I want it to be awesome. So there's a little bit of that in there, right? But potentially, I feel personally, I felt like the stuff that I saw in the Microsoft presser was a lot more interesting and unique from what we've been seeing, whereas everybody else was more of the same for me. And I might be a little biased, We haven't even touched upon the PC gaming show.
Oh no.
Yeah, so any last thoughts so far on what we discussed on E3? No?
You give yours.
So, I mean, I'm saying next show we'll continue the last bit of E3 stuff. We'll go through the major game announcements, and then we'll kind of go through some of the PC gaming show stuff if we had enough time. Cause that was his own beast. That was a 3-hour show. Oh,
Okay, so
BFT's excited for Scalebound. Hey, we have someone excited about it. Yes, thank you.
So for next week, guys, what we'll do is we're not gonna talk. We're gonna get into our little 15 minutes, but we're probably gonna get right into E3 so we have enough time to cover everything next week. So then we can actually, because there's a couple other topics I know that I want to talk about that I think you have planned.
Yes.
Yes.
We'll circle back to those, yeah, definitely.
Yes, so we're going to be getting to that. If you guys want to add anything in this show that you've thought that you didn't get to say in chat or you weren't here live, you're listening to the podcast, you guys can send us a voicemail or a text, 646-801-2149, 646-801-2149. HorsePLAY Live is where you can listen to download awesome podcasts, including allgames.com, Google Play, Music, iTunes, Google Play Music, iTunes, Player FM, Stitcher, and TuneIn Radio. Thanks for all those that are favoriting, subscribing, and sharing our content. We love you very much. YouTube, you guys can go check it out on youtube.com/Geeky Antics. And the Twitch, if we don't get kicked off or whatever, we make a Twitch show too here on twitch.tv. So, but we also have lots of shows that we have that we also say homage to. We don't have time. Go check those out, guys. geekyantics.net/scheduling. And of course, if you guys want anything to do with the Geeky Antics, our Twitch profile and our aggregate feed over geekyantics.net/podcast. Fuck, that's a lot of shit to say. Guys, your last words. Where can they find you at, Blades?
So I have two Twitters. I have at TSE Blades and at Fatal Blades, spelled FATL Blades. All over the place. I'm a lot of places. Just look up TSE Blades or Fatal Blades. You'll find me. Oh, also, just to cover real quick, video games I've been playing is Hearthstone, and I just started catching up on Lucifer on TV. Go team! All right, go ahead.
All right, another thing I want to say about Fatal is he's actually going to be starting I don't know, what do we want to say? His trail, I guess, or his path, or whatever.
He's going on a Vision Quest?
BlizzCon 2017. So
Oh!
we're gonna get Hearthstone, and we're gonna be rocking. So hopefully, we'll be at TSE and all that. And with Blades, he'll be actually at BlizzCon playing. So, well, hopefully, good luck on that one. I'm asking, same too. I can be found Obi1X2 everywhere. On Twitter is TSE Obi1. So hit me up, guys, and of course, Topstar Esports at Topstar Esports on Twitter. You guys want to say hi and say what's up? Give us a follow; would be very much appreciated. Yogi,
Me and Fatal got to talk Lucifer when we do our
so we can
bid.
do it next week.
Yeah, and we'll do it on TWTC too. Cause I think we have some shows in common. I watch Superstore too, by the way. So anyway, I'm Yogizilla everywhere.
So good!
Before we go to that, so good! But yeah, I'm Yogizilla everywhere. Xbox Live, Twitter, Steam, Tumblr, Facebook, whatever's cool these days. I guess I'm trying to be this. I'm not as old and farty as I can be.
Well, we got some more stuff coming out. We're going to be releasing some more news too with TSE here soon. But while Yogi's getting the music ready to end the show, if you guys are listening to us on allgames.com, the Power Ranking Show, the live Power Ranking Show is up next, followed by the Knuckleballer Radio at its new time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Be sure to hang out live or chat button and say hi, guys. Tell them Obi sent you, Obi and Yogi, because they might not know who I am. But tell them we sent you guys and just say hi, be friendly. Love everybody. Now remember, you guys, if you guys can't find the B Team podcast for some odd freaking reason, they're on Tuesday nights. The best day of the week, 9 p.m. Eastern time on our official sister network, All Games Radio Network. I'm Obi1X2. That's Yogi Zilla and our guest tonight, Fatal Blades. This is HorsePLAY Live, guys. We'll see you next time.
Peace!
Later, peeps. And remember, next time we'll kill E3 even further. Oh, yeah.
Yes! It's gonna be rotting!
Something to look forward to.
Oh boy. Play music.
Yay!
I love that fast version of that. It's so awesome. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Later, taters.
Oh my god.
That's a pirate center stream off. Doo-doo-doo.